All right, and we are live. Iron Lord Podcast, lordsofgaming.net. I am Lord Cognito, and who are these two fine gentlemen in the realm of Summer Game Fest?
My name's Jason Barnes. I am a Associate Design Director on Elder Scrolls Online.
Nick Giacomini, Game Director for Elder Scrolls Online.
Elder Scrolls Online. Now, the shirt that you have says Blackwood.
Yes.
We have to talk about this new content. What do you have to tell us for our audience what's going on in Elder Scrolls Online?
I mean, this is probably one of the biggest years of change for us, like in the history of Elder Scrolls Online. Changing the content model, we're changing the way that we go about things generally. The last decade or so, I think Elder Scrolls Online has been very consistent, right, in terms of what we provided to players, right, like zone, chapter, dungeons, and this year we're trying completely different things, right? We're investing a lot more in the foundation of the game, right? So the class refresh just kicked off with the Dragon Knight. It's really fun. We got the Werewolf coming out just a few days, a complete overhaul of that with new models, new animations, new mechanics, there's just every single release we're trying to be unpredictable, like experimental, still very much Elder Scrolls Online, right? We want to stay true to our roots, but different, new, innovative, there's a lot that's going on right now.
Now, I'm not just going to let you casually pass by this werewolf situation. Please tell our audience more about this. You can hold the mic, by the way.
Oh, sure. Yeah. That works.
Back and forth.
Yeah, we're revamping the werewolf. Players can choose to become a werewolf, regardless of their class. And it's we decided to fill in some gaps. We listened to player feedback really closely. That's very much part of what we're trying to do right now. Listening to player feedback has always been really important, but now more so than ever, we're really trying to take that into account, really trying to listen and build the game, with our community. I've said this in the past, but our success, is measured by our players, right? For many, including us, Elder Scrolls Online is a home, and for our players, it's a home, and they should have a say in how that home is built, right? And so we've tried to take a lot of the feedback with Werewolf. It was a little clunky. You fell out of the werewolf state, pretty easily. Now it's a lot more like a toggle where you can keep it on, you can keep it going. We've introduced some new mechanics like the prowl, so you can sneak up on players and
sneak on.
Yeah, exactly, and then come out. Right? It's more vicious, it's more ferocious, it feels more visceral, and you sacrifice some of that finesse for just raw ferocity. Yeah, right, and. So I'm really looking forward to it. We've overhauled mechanics, we've overhauled visuals, and it just feels a lot more satisfying, I think, and more like a werewolf. So, yeah.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Now, you mentioned taking player feedback. The other thing I want to ask about people who are lapsed, returning players, right? How do you kind of help with the onboarding to get them back into the game?
Yeah, I'll take this one.
Yeah.
It's tough, right? So Elder Scrolls Online, we've been around for 12 years now, and the game is just massive, right? A lot of MMOs are like that. There's just so much, and we've leaned really heavily into, play the way you want. So there's not really like a linear path for players, right? You can sort of do whatever you want. You can play how you want. You can play the story in whatever order you want. You can go to the zones that you want. And while that freedom is really cool, it's overwhelming. Like when you come back, if you've left for even just a few months, it can be really hard to get your bearings. So it's something that actually we recently just launched like a new onboarding system called the Hero's Return for returning players for exactly this reason. And because we're changing so much and addressing a lot of longstanding issues, we've actually seen a major resurgence of players coming back. In fact, we had our single highest day of players coming back to the game in, I think, 3 years. Is that right? And that's it's illustrative, but it's showing the trend of players are really interested in what we're doing right now, and it's been really fun. But absolutely, it can be tough to get your bearings. So. The Hero's Return is helping, but it's a process, and we're going to try to continue to improve it over time.
Awesome. I'm glad you said that because, again, I think with live service and MMO, what we realize is that, they get so big. And again, everyone's attention is diverted. So to have something in place to say, okay, this can help us onboard to get back into the system is awesome. Now, as a person who likes mainline Elder Scrolls game, I'm a big factions kind of guy, fan of certain guilds and things. So potentially could one of the guilds or factions return in said content?
You want me to grab it? Yeah. So luckily, we already have a bunch of factions in ESO that have shown up, and now we're returning to a famous one that everyone knows and loves, the Thieves Guild. We have explored their content a little bit. You could join them previously years ago, but now we're revisiting that. It's a sequel story to what we've had in game. We have some new stuff that you can do. We've introduced some new mechanics. You can get like these special powders now that you can throw down and distract guards with, which is something that we've never done before.
Wait, special powers we can distract, like poof, like okay, let's go.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. And so we were looking at what we've been doing in the game, because we've had what we call it our justice system, where you can sneak around and steal stuff and pickpocket and things like that. But we wanted to look at how could we improve it more. So not only are we adding more story content, but adding like new tools, new things you can hide in. Like now you can, before we had these baskets in the world that if you were sneaking around and a guard saw you and you had justice against you because you robbed a bunch of stuff, you could hop in the basket. Now we have things like planners you can hop into, you can hide behind curtains. So we've added some more just interactivity to the world, so making your thieving experience even more fun and exciting. So yeah, we've really put an emphasis on that.
You touched my soul with this one. I'm Lord Cognito, the resident ninja. So anything about stealth, sneaking, and the fact it's joinable, I love that we're adding these type of mechanics. And again, in the past, it wasn't joinable, right? So we got story beats, we got all that kind of thing, and really leaning into the play style. I think that is pretty awesome. Now, you said the justice system kind of plays into that, and kind of like that. And then I was going to say, is this kind of like a stepping point for more future things, or right now we're just focusing on Thieves Guild and... Because there's other factions that people do like. I'm just saying.
Yeah, so, for this particular season that we have coming up, it is a really big focus on the Thieves Guild. That's kind of our main thing we're looking at. But we're also adding some additional things into the game that kind of just circle around similar things. We have a new system that we're calling the rumor system, which is essentially things you find out in the world that don't have a whole lot of like UI elements. I keep joking, for anyone who's played Morrowind, it's more like an old school questing system where you find a body in the woods and there's a note next to it, and there's just a letter, and it talks about maybe this guard got, was suspicious of something and he visited this location, but we don't tell you where to go. We just let you kind of go out and figure it out. You can do these things in any order. They have multiple endings, and they're just kind of scattered all throughout the world. So kind of similar in vein of like Thieves Guild and stuff. We have that. We also have a bunch of other stuff. We have a new system called the Favor system, which is for anyone who's played Skyrim, and they were kind of like a dynamic quest. You would go to like an innkeeper, and they would just be like, oh yeah, go out and do stuff. It's similar to that, but there's a story that you do them every day, and they'll send you a letter, and the story will update, and just you can do it over and over and kind of get the full progression of the narrative as time goes on. We've also introduced what we call dynamic encounters in the world. So just as you're running around, a farm might all of a sudden come under attack, and you have to join in, and other players can join in at any time, and you have to save the horses and do a bunch of stuff. Or maybe there's a vampire lord that is messing with an area, and you join up with a crew and you travel through the zone together to try to stop them. So that's another big feature that we're leaning on, and a lot of cool stuff. And then we're even adding more stuff to that, because we have a new system we're calling the Sage's Vault, which is something brand new. It's actually a story element that you come across during the Thieves Guild storyline. I won't spoil anything, but it's going to be a new type of gameplay that we're experimenting with, something we've never done before, where you will go into this kind of randomized area that has different rooms that you can do, and you never know what order you're going to do them in, and it's full of different types of things that we've never done before. So there might be combat encounters in there might be sneaking puzzles like we were just talking about with stealth, where you have to go around, and there's these like dark singing Khajiit that you can't disturb, and if you walk into a puddle, it sends a sound out. And we even have some obstacles, like a giant jumping puzzle where you have to dodge like these fireballs that are coming out of the lava and stuff. And plus, underneath it all, there's this giant layer of puzzles. Every room has a secret, and you have to figure out how those secrets connect to other rooms and kind of put it all together, so it's like one giant puzzle area. So we got lots of cool stuff coming up.
Oh, you guys are feature rich. This is a lot, you know. And again, I like the dynamism of all this content, and especially what you said about like notes, finding things that kind of lead to like organic quests and stuff like that, as opposed to hold handing, you know, with the UI and stuff like that. Yeah. That's really cool. I want to get my boy Lord Chris in. I know you had a question. Yeah. What you got for the devs?
So I'm a big Cyrodiil guy, you know, Aldemir Dominion for life, always. You mentioned the werewolf reworks and other class stuff like that. Are there going to be any other visual updates for potential weapon skill lines and other reworks and adjustments for world or guild skill lines like vampires, which you didn't get to hear? Vampires, Sigic skill line, or maybe the armor skill lines?
Yeah, right now, the only thing confirmed is so the class mastery system is coming like in a few days actually, and that was based on, again, player feedback. When we started on this revamp of all the classes, it's a major undertaking, right? Like we're actually going, we're not just putting a band-aid, we're looking at each class and trying to redo the visuals, get rid of the floatiness to the extent that we can, just make it feel more cohesive, full, etc. And again, listen to player feedback. But it's a huge initiative, right? This is not going to take place, you know, over the course of the next few months. We're talking the next couple of years. And so class mastery came about because players, you know, in the wake of subclassing, really wanted. I think subclassing was a really cool feature. It allows you to mix and match all these different classes and play how you want. But it also made players understandably feel like that certain builds were really powerful and that they were pigeonholed into those. And so where our hope was that it would increase a huge amount of experimentation, and it has to some extent for a lot, especially those trying to maximize, you know, their effectiveness. They felt like, right, no, totally, I'm the same way. Like I wanted to, I felt like I couldn't play my Sork, for example. Like I needed to kind of mix and match. And so we're doing the class mastery system to, again, bring everything closer so that players get to choose. Werewolf is coming, like I said. Warden is coming later as well, and we're going to be getting through all the classes. I'm really looking forward to it. In terms of Vampire specifically, no plans at the moment. Sorry, yeah, I'm sorry. But that doesn't mean that it's off the table. It's
never
definitely
say never.
Well, it's not even not off the table. It wouldn't surprise me if like that becomes something that we take on like once we get through the classes. There's a lot of interest internally and a lot of interest from our players. So it's absolutely something that we want to do. In terms of the other skill lines, weapon skill lines we're taking as we can. Again, just the classes are pretty all-consuming, but we just started down that road, and we're going to be adding to those over time as well. We just don't have like a firm timeline, but absolutely we want to get through all of them. So there's a lot to look forward to with all these.
Any follow-up, or you satiated, Lord Chris?
That's what I got.
That's what he got. Look, we're going to get close to wrapping up, but look, we're super excited. This is feature-rich, very intense. Love the onboarding, love the questing. Again, Thieves Guild faction. Is there anything else that maybe that you haven't mentioned that you guys are really proud of as a team as we get closer?
I'll start, I guess. Sure. Just anything in general that we're...
Personally.
I am super proud of just the team in general and all the work that everyone's been doing, all the devs. This has been a big initiative for ESO in general, kind of making a big shift, trying new things, just going out on a limb and seeing like, hey, we've heard players really want this stuff. Let's try to do this. We have a whole player improvement team, and that's like all their whole initiative is just listening to player feedback and introducing new stuff. And we've been adding tons of new just kind of base game features in the background that people may not even notice, or it may have been like a pain point for others, and just trying to address all of that and really take that in and continue to do that just going forward and not stop. And that team is constantly working on cool and just exciting things. And so yeah, just I'm really proud of everything the team's done, everything, how ESO is shaping up as we move into the future, and all the new exciting stuff that we have coming up that we can't dive into too much yet. I will just say we'll be returning to Skyrim soon, so that'll be the big thing. But I think for me that's the thing I'm most proud of is the shape the game is taking, and how much work the team's put behind it, and how dedicated and how much they kind of are invested in this new direction. So
It's hard to choose, right? But I think, as Jason was talking about all these things, that's very illustrative of what we're doing right now, right? In the past, again, zones, they felt very familiar. Like there were a certain number of quests, a certain number of objectives, incursions, right? Some world bosses and things like that. And I think what players are going to find is that we're still going to be doing plenty of zones, but they're different. We're building all these new fun ways to engage with our content, to immerse yourself in the zones. And I think that's going to be like really cool. It's exciting for us. We think it's going to be exciting for players. If I had to choose one thing, it would be that class refresh that we're going on, because look, like we've talked about how we want the Elder Scrolls Online to be a 30-year-old game, right? We've stated that publicly, and that seems like a long time, but it's not so far-fetched, right? We're already almost at the halfway point. But when you look at if you look at like MMORPGs, like 20 years ago, 10 years ago, like they've changed pretty dramatically, right? Recognizable certainly, but like evolving. And when we're talking about being a 30-year MMO, I think that's part of it. You have to address in the foundation, right? And like as I think that's us showing it's a testament to we're putting like significant resources into this because we believe in this being like a long-term game, and in order to do that we have to modernize the combat, we have to modernize the look and feel, we have to modernize the mechanics and make it more exciting for players. So if I had to choose one thing, I'd probably choose that, but there's a lot.
Awesome. You heard it here first, man. The journey. I remember seeing the game from the very beginning, and remember King and Chris, we saw this thing, and to see where you guys have come such a long way, from the graphical fidelity, from a platform standpoint, to player feedback, and then to see where it is now, and to see that journey, like you said, keeping players engaged, retention, all that good stuff, but at the same time, listening to feedback, and that's what people care about the most. So you heard it here first in the realm, Elder Scrolls Online, the new content. When can people get their hands on said content?
We have some of it coming out. We've already started with Season 0, and then Season 1 comes out July 8th. Yeah. We have so much content coming out, and it's all coming out at different dates. That's why we have the team here to help remind us. I can't remember what day it is sometimes, so you have to forgive me on that.
Just Monday is when some of, right? So like Veterancy, Vengeance are coming on Monday. The Class Mastery system is coming on Monday. Challenge difficulty is coming on Monday. I'm excited about that one. The Werewolf is coming on Monday. And then, just 1 month from Monday, exactly. Season 1 kicks off. The Thieves Guild will be a part of that. The favor system, which we didn't, I guess you briefly touched on. Yeah. It's going to be a part of that. And the
Sheogorath questline.
Sheogorath questline, yep. Then like what?
The legend. You just can't. The legendary, the shivering up.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we're pretty excited about that. It's been, I think 2019 was the last time, right, that we with Elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It's been a long time since he's been brought back. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be a chaos.
Absolute pleasure to have you in the realm. Elder Scrolls Online, new content. We heard it here first on Monday, and then July 8th, right? We get the big stuff. We're excited to see the transformation of this game, and we cannot wait. Iron Lord Podcast with the realm of Elder Scrolls Online. Peace.